Hello and welcome to this week's edition of The Horror Debate. I'm Michael Mandy and he is Rowdy Jeff.
This week, Ghost Story, John Irvin from 1981. Starring Fred Astaire, dude!
And Douglas Fairbanks Jr., John Houseman, Melvin Douglas. I took my dad to see this movie in the theater.
You're dating yourself, Mikey.
No, I dated my...
You dated your father?
Well,
what did you say?
You're the one who said it. I took my dad to see this movie just because he said, oh my God, Fred Astaire, Melvin Douglas, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., John Houseman. And you know what? This is a kind of, old school kind of film that shows certain actors have got so much class, they can carry a movie just by being in the movie.
Well, okay. I got to be a little honest with you.
Okay.
Okay, a little honest with you. Don't get too starry-eyed over the thing because it had its good points and it had its bad points, okay? Now, first of all, lead us in with what the heck are we dealing with here?
What the heck we're dealing with here is basically these five guys actually, have a society that they started, their own little private secret society, where they tell ghost stories, and they founded it back in the 30s.
Yeah.
And now it's 80 years later, or 60 years later, or whatever, and their members are all dying off, and one of them, their son, he's got two sons, one of them dies because he says he found this girl and described her exactly like this girl that these guys knew back in the 30s. So, and they have a secret that they've kept buried from the 30s.
No pun intended on that one.
Yeah, they've been hiding this secret, and now their secret is coming out, and they're freaking out about it.
Well, the first thing I got to tell you, Mike, is I turned it on, and it cracked me up because you put the DVD in, right?
The first
and I'm watching this on like a 70-inch screen with the THX surround. I got it cranked up to the moon, right? I put it on, and all of a sudden this big THX thing comes on, this Dolby Digital thing. You know how they do that little sound thing, right? Then we get to the movie, and my amp switches out of Dolby Digital into standard 2-channel surround, and I'm like, why are you teasing me like that? Why don't you give this a remaster or something, I mean, not that it mattered all that much, but if you're going to put all this stuff at the beginning of the flick, don't you think the actual flick ought to be in that? You know what I mean? It just kind of bummed me out. It went from Dolby Digital to 2-channel and like, bam, But then I started getting into the flick a little bit, and there was a little bit of cheese.
Well, part of the cheese was the special effects. I mean, back in 1981...
No.
1981, you couldn't have a guy falling.
We didn't have special effects at the very beginning of the movie. What we had was some people talking, and I just thought that kind of the dialogue just seemed like... I mean, granted, we're talking about deep back, right? We're talking 1981, right? But... it just seemed like, I'm like, oh, do I have to listen to like 2 hours of this, please? No. I mean, all these guys sitting around talking, and they were talking in a way that you kind of had to strain to understand what they were saying.
Because they were older.
You know what I'm saying?
Different. This is John Houseman. This is the old guy at the beginning of the movie.
I would have rather read the movie. I would have rather had the subtitles turned on.
Oh, you know what? No, seriously, I read the movie. It's the book by Peter Straub.
Yeah, by Peter Straub.
And it's not anything at all like this movie.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the movie better than the book.
And then I got a little further into it, and we had full frontal from a male.
Yeah, the falling.
And my wife looks over at me like,
Yeah. Does it really spin in a circle when you fall?
Does it really spin in a circle?
I remember seeing this with my dad sitting next to me going, oh, God.
I was like, whoa. I mean, that was unexpected. And then we get to the girl that we're talking about here.
Alice Krieg, and you've seen her.
That's what I was going to say, is that I've seen her. That was the first thing that I noticed was that, God, that girl looked familiar.
She was the Borg Queen. In that Star Trek
What
Next
does that
Generation
mean to me? I'm not a
movie.
Trekkie.
No, but I mean, she was also in Law and Order.
Okay, I probably saw her in Law and Order or something like that. But you know what?
She was also the bad guy, the bad girl in Silent Hill at the very end of.
You know what I recognized about her?
Her eyebrows.
No,
that's what she's got.
You know what I recognized about her? Her mouth. Huh. She has a very distinct smile.
Yeah, it's very tight.
Yes, and I noticed that, and I said, I know her. Well, I don't know her, but I know of her. And she's a cutie, or she was a cutie.
Okay.
I mean,
in a twisted, weird.
Well, yeah,
way.
she was psycho.
She is psycho.
She was psycho, but it worked okay for this particular flick. So as the movie continued on, I got like this whole story lined up for you on this one, Mike.
Okay.
You see? Now, as the movie went on, I thought everything kind of picked up fairly well. And by the middle of the movie, I was entranced by the guys. And I'm not talking in a sexual way. I was entranced by the dialogue between them, by the friendship between them.
Between Fred Astaire,
Yes.
and like Douglas Fairbanks,
Yes.
and all.
So obviously, somewhere along the line, while I was criticizing the hell out of the movie to begin with, somewhere along the line, it grabbed me, and I really got into it. And by the middle of the movie, I was entranced by the characters.
Exactly.
The characterization in this movie, really, really top-notch stuff.
For 4 80-year-old guys.
No. You know what really got me though was when they were flashing back and they were giving you the backstory of the younger years. I thought those actors did a tremendous job.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Really?
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm positive.
Oh.
Because and it wasn't so much in just their acting, but in the writing of the whole thing. The way they went back in time and showed you how this thing went down. You know what I mean? And I don't want to give it away like we always say. We try not to spoil anything here. But if you're not entranced by this writing, this dialogue, you're not listening hard enough. Okay? This is good stuff.
My thing is, I was thoroughly into this movie until the flashback scene. Then I kept finding myself going, wait a second, is that guy... Okay, I think that guy's Fred Astaire, but
But Mikey, you're an old man. You're an old man. You relate to those 80-year-olds, okay?
Yes, you're right,
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and watch the younger guys.
I had a hard time figuring out, okay, is the tall guy with the mustache, is that supposed to be John Houseman? Or is that supposed to be Douglas Fairbanks?
Okay, I will give you that. Is that I had to figure out who was who.
Right, it was a little tough figuring out who was supposed to be who.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that.
And then the other thing was the guy who was playing Fred Astaire after the third or fourth time, he's a silly drunk. When he gets drunk, he starts giggling like a little girl, and I'm just going, no, Fred Astaire. That's
well,
not
now
Fred Astaire.
you've got the chick. And I just got to say this because I'm going to skip ahead. You got the chick in bed, right? You finally got her ready to go.
I do?
No, not you.
Oh.
You the dude. He had her ready to go.
Yeah, right. And his buddies were outside
serenading him. And his buddies were outside cheering him on.
Going, yeah, go for it.
And he can't do it.
Yeah, I know. Well,
what is up with that?
It was a different time.
I almost expected a Viagra commercial to come up and go, you need one of these.
Yeah, no, it was...
what's going on?
Back in the 20s and 30s, back then, women didn't do that, and so he was probably freaked out a bit. Wow, you must be, some kind of hussy or something going around doing all... You do this to all the guys you date.
Right,
it was a different time back then.
I
know you would have jumped on her in a heartbeat, but...
On and off in record time. No. So
you would have jumped on, broke the bed. Geronimo!
Oh, sorry, honey. You still breathing down there?
Yeah. Oops. Is anything broken?
What can I tell you? Anyway. But Mike.
And then I had a problem. Okay, that flashback was okay because it was intriguing and whatever. But then it went to the flashback of the son, who is Craig Wasson.
Oh, by the way, what is Bill Maher doing in this movie?
Yeah, the guy
What is Bill Maher doing in this? As soon as he came on the screen, I said, Bill!
Yeah, Craig
what are you going to do, stand up for me in the middle of Ghost Story?
If you'd have said Craig is Bill Maher's dad, you'd go, oh, yeah, I
Oh,
see that.
my goodness, he looked like Bill Maher.
Yeah, but anyways, when they go to his flashback...
At least they didn't show him full frontal.
Yeah, they did. He was the guy falling. He was playing his brother.
Well, right. Well, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Same guy. But I mean in the story. Well, anyway.
Same guy.
You know what I mean. Yeah, okay.
Anyways, so back to what I'm saying. Okay, I really liked the film when it took place in the present with the old guys. I really liked the film when it took place in the past with the old guys as young guys, but it was kind of hard to tell, but that's okay. I can get past that. Then it became a flashback to the son, but then it became freaking love story. And it's like, to me, when we got to his flashback, the movie stopped. It dragged and dragged and dragged.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I couldn't wait to get back to the present.
It didn't ruin it. It didn't ruin it for me.
It slowed it down.
Mike, think about this for a second. Just think about this. Just stop what you're saying and think about what I'm about to tell you. If I didn't think that it stopped the movie, and I'm the one who's always talking about continuity and how things don't flow, then it didn't. Okay, believe that. Okay, because I catch those things like nobody's business. If a movie is going full throttle and I'm loving it and I'm loving the characters and I'm loving the interactions and all this, most of the time somebody slams on the brakes somewhere in the middle of the movie and I'm like, okay, now what? You know, I didn't get that in this. Cool. I really liked this film, Mike, and I'm shocked at how much I liked it.
I'm shocked because I thought you'd say this is freaking backstory jumping back and forth. I
No,
didn't
well,
know where the hell I was.
See, we're not to the negatives yet.
Yeah, okay.
We're not to the negatives yet.
Okay.
I told you at the beginning. I warned you.
Okay.
I said at the beginning. I said, don't get all starry-eyed because it has its good points.
And I bet you thought I'd be going, oh, this is the greatest film. 'cause
Oh
it's got old
my!
people in it.
I knew you'd be gushing all over it.
It's got old people in it.
Number one, because of the nudity, right? You got.
I didn't turn on the film to watch Craig Wasson's
Not
thing
him.
spin in a circle.
Not him. You got what's her name? Krieg.
Alice.
Yeah, you got her laying on the bed,
You
full
get
backside.
her a lot, man. She's out of her clothes most.
See,
of this
and I said
movie.
Mike's gonna give this 14 stars. You know, 14 out of 5 just because of Krieg. You know, but no. Okay, let me continue on a little bit. Then the ending of the film.
Okay, the ending of the
Oh
film.
no. Let me back up a little bit. The special effects. You were talking about the special effects being cheese. Okay.
Just that one falling scene. It looked
No,
like a
it wasn't
cartoon.
just that one falling scene.
Okay.
What about the face melting
Uh-huh.
and all this? I mean, granted, it was a little cool. It was kind of cool. Okay, but it didn't look right. It looked like syrup or something, like falling off the. I don't know. You know, you're talking about 1981. Stan Winston was involved in this.
Yeah.
What's he putting log cabin on these people's faces for? You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it look a little bit more realistic. I mean, anytime her face changed, I was completely out of the experience. And that's supposed to be when you're in the experience. The special effects didn't work.
Okay.
Didn't
I
work.
thought they did, especially at the end
No.
when it was falling off and the big chunks of skin were flopping off
Okay,
of it.
well, no.
I thought that was cool.
But
at
what
the very
what is
end.
creepier, and I'll give this point to Stan Winston or whoever was responsible for this. Who thought of the picture? And what is creepier than a picture when you got a ghost in it? Right? And the face is all.
Well, she turned her head and it kind of blurred.
Well, yeah, that's what they want to tell you, but what in reality was, chick's a ghost.
Well, thanks for spoiling it.
Right? So, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Spoiler warning.
So, I mean, I'm looking at it going, I love that. I mean, there were several other movies that did that too. I can't remember exactly right off the top of my head which ones, but where they take a picture of somebody who's an apparition and they're not sure they're an apparition, you know, at that particular point in the film, and then later on they see the picture and the face is all blah, 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 you know. I like that. There are little things in this movie that I wouldn't expect from a movie from like 1981.
Oh, to me, the house was the most awesome looking haunted
I
house.
agree with that.
The snow and the cold.
I agree with that.
I mean, watching this movie in a movie theater in the dead of winter, I was shivering. I mean,
Yeah.
this movie had the scenes that took place in the present had mood all over them.
Yeah.
And when
Definitely.
when Bill Maher is on the stairs, you know,
Bill
Craig-
Maher, that's right.
when
I'm going to put a credit on there.
You know, when Craig is on the stairs and you see the hand and that movie, I'm
Yeah.
getting goosebumps. Look,
Yeah.
look, goosebumps right there.
Oh, I agree with you.
Uh-huh.
This
movie
thing
is
has
cool.
vibe written all over it. I mean, when you're watching this, I mean, like I said, we cranked down turned off all the lights, cranked up the sound,
Right.
and had a good time
This is the
with
way
it.
to watch this movie.
And there were a couple of even decent jumps
oh yeah,
in the film, you know, which was good, you know. I got to tell you, for 1981, this is an impressive piece of work.
yeah. This
you
movie
know?
starts out with you're going to be going, what the heck, but just stick with it.
Yeah.
You know, stick with
Oh,
it.
I was what the heck
Yeah.
immediately just because of the dialogue. The dialogue was dragging, man.
What John Houseman?
Oh, I don't want to be, you know.
well, you know, John Houseman.
Read me a story, Houseman. Don't sit there.
Well, that's
and,
what he's doing. He's telling you a story.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
What
but-
about the story about the guy in the coffin and the fingers, and then they
That was
show
cool.
you.
That
they
was cool.
show you. They
Yes.
visualize the
Yes.
story, and he's got that voice, and only John
But who's got a
Houseman.
see-through coffin?
You know, and he's got that Smith Barney voice. You know.
But wait a minute. Who
They
has a
earn it, you know.
Who has a see-through coffin?
Obviously him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for that shot they had to do that, but
It was creepy. Nonetheless, it was creepy.
you're killing yourself
That
over
movie.
there. See what happens when you smoke?
Yeah.
You see that? Okay. So anyway, bottom line on this thing, Mike, I'm going to cut it off for you right here. Don't even need to talk about it anymore. You deserve to see this film. Go check it out. Rent it. 1981. You might have a little trouble finding it.
Yeah, there's no teenagers in this film.
You know what? Teenagers be damned. This is a good movie, okay?
All right.
I want you to see this film. I want you to write in and tell us what you think about it, because I was shocked. Usually all the old films that Mike tells me to watch, I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know? And I thought this was going to be one of them. If the first 10 minutes were any indication, I was like, I'm going to kill him tomorrow, right? I'm gonna kill him. You know, I got to sit
God.
through this, right? But after that 10 minutes, it took off, man. And this movie, it had me. You know, it just had me.
Well, I'm glad it had you.
So, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
You know what I'm going to do?
What are you
Something
gonna do?
I don't think I've ever done.
What?
I'm going to take an old flick, and I'm going to 4-star it.
Wow.
I'm going to 4-star
Yes,
it.
definitely.
And that's because this is, like I said, I am all about vibe and mood.
That's what the
And that's what this film gave you in spades.
yeah. The front and the end, definitely. The middle, like I said, that one scene where we go to the son's backstory, I thought could have been trimmed down a bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, okay, come on.
There was a
move on,
little
move
too
on.
much information in
Too
certain
much
parts.
love story
Yeah.
in the middle, but that's the only thing that's keeping me from giving this a 5-star film.
Yeah.
Just because I thought the middle dragged.
It didn't ruin it.
No.
It didn't ruin it for me. You know, and like I said, I'm Mr. Continuity.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel it this time. You know, that's how much I was digging it. So that says something for it right there.
Yeah, you can't watch this film with the kids running in and out of the house with the curtains open in daytime, and you've got to turn the lights off. You've got to watch this at midnight.
Yeah, I got to unlock them. I locked them up in the rooms when I was
Yeah.
watching.
Oh, jeez, you got to let them out. Go let them out.
No, but yeah, you owe it to yourself to see this flick. If you're a fan, you notice a pattern here, Mike? Do you notice a pattern with me?
Older films actually have good stuff in them.
No. That's for you to play with.
And a lot of the older actors that are famous famous for a reason.
But you know what I'm liking? And this, I've said this before. Like in the Stir of Echoes review, to harken back to that, these ghost stories can be done so well that you'll feel like you're in them. You know, Stir of Echoes, I got that vibe. This movie, I got that vibe. Good stuff. Both those movies, my highest recommendations.
Yep.
So, absolutely, 4-star film, solidly.
Definitely. I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We'll talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.